Hey folks, welcome to the channel. And learning from the experience of other people is often one of the smartest things you can do. In the previous video I explained that I actually did this, of using my vehicle as a tool for stopping someone that was trying to hurt me. It's a valid thing to do when your life is, at risk. Now, I was reading about how this guy did, some interesting things with his vehicle when dealing with this knife attacker in UK. As always, folks, if you're interested in this sort of stuff, want to learn more about self-defense, survival preparedness, especially the aspect of using whatever tools are available, of course, improvise things, definitely proper weapons for self-defense. All of that is covered to quite an extent in this book right here. Street survival skills, the economic aspect of preparedness, and this one right there, surviving the economic collapse. So I was reading the article where it says that Mr. Scott parked up his BMW. He said he spotted a group of people sprinting across the platform, but simply thought it was some teenagers prattling around. So he saw this man was waiting for his daughter in the train station, right? He was under the light at the time. Okay, but then the father noticed more panicking passengers escaping the station before witnessing the armed man walking towards him. He was under the light at the time, so it sort of shadowed him out, and he was just heading straight for me. At that point, I could see he had a knife in his hand, Mr. Scott said. He came straight to my car, and if I remember rightly, he tried the door, couldn't get in, and he started chopping down on the top of my car. Crucial thing that I already mentioned, keeping your car doors locked. This is a no-brainer. A lot of people don't do this. I've heard the argument of, no, but it's better if I get involved in a car crash or I have some medical emergency. This way, like the EMTs can open the door. I'm really more in favor of keeping doors locked at all times. Being used to high-risk situations, that makes the most sense. This happens all the time. Carjacking, like in Argentina, no one leaves his doors unlocked. That is basically unheard of. It's actually like a reflex thing, muscle memory. You just always lock the doors whenever you get into your vehicle. Always. It is, it's that much of a thing. Now, Mr. Scott says, he adds, it was a case of fight or flight, and I just powered away as quickly as I could, also taking him with me. Maybe he was trying to open the car, and maybe he dragged him a little bit, and because of that. Now, personally, what I explain in my book is use it to bump the guy, especially if he has a firearm. I'm not waiting until he actually brings the gun up and starts shooting at me, right? You just bump and roll with him, right? And this will destabilize him in such a way that it's going to be far more difficult for him to take proper aim. You don't want to give the guy even a second for him to bring up the gun, aim, and shoot through a window at close range. He told BBC that though crossed his mind about running over the knife-wielding man again, but at that moment, police officers arrived on the scene. The father then used, this is pretty clever from him, he used the headlights to light up the car park in order for police to see better. So, as police arrive naturally, especially when it's dark, you're going to see whatever is bright, whatever is being illuminated, right? So you're in your vehicle. You can use your vehicle as a weapon, right? Now, there's always legal implications, so make absolutely certain you're doing this sort of thing as a last resort when you have no doubt that you're about to get seriously injured or killed. Someone is putting your life at risk. That is the only explanation that will hold any ground when you're explaining yourself in front of a judge. So be absolutely certain you know exactly what you're doing and what you're getting into. I feel completely comfortable that if someone is pointing a gun at me, I'm going to run him over, and whatever happens, that's going to be on him. It's not my fault, okay? So in this case, though, he uses the headlights to point at the guy. I'm thinking a couple things here. Not only do you have your vehicle. Now, big difference with a guy with a knife, guy with a gun. Guy with a gun, he starts shooting at you. You really don't want to stay put there. But if it's someone with a knife or it's some violent situation and there's police around, using your headlights, you make that noticeable. Maybe you even blow the horn in your car, says, hey, guys over there, with the lights, with noise, you signal for their attention. Also, your car probably has like the higher headlights that are pretty blinding in many cases. Maybe that's something you can use too. Not only signaling with, but also signaling with the light, you know, that there's something they should be paying attention to. Interesting stuff. The father then used the headlights to light up the car park in order for the police to see. Mr. Scott added that the adrenaline was still pumping following the arrest, as he was extremely relieved to hear what his daughter's Elena was not on the train. She had instead been diverted to another stop in Cambridgeshire and made her way home via other methods. So yeah, that's basically what ended up happening. With there he is. He was in a barber shop, a complete lunatic, you know, of uncertain, diverse origin. The British man. Yes, your everyday Harry freaking Potter here, being diversity. Empowering future generations of Britons. So I think it's interesting. To see couldn't get in. All right. So he's posting Mr. Scott car picture after the attack. He was waiting for his daughter when the attacker emerged. Yeah. Definitely a big difference if it's a knife or if it's a gun. With a gun, you really want to be, you know, mobile and not being a stationary target. Folks, just a couple more things to consider giving the information that we have. And as always, you learn from other people's experience. You try to keep these things in mind in case you ever need to apply any of this yourself. See you next time. Take care.